What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Bring the Thunder podcast live recap for you guys. If you guys are just now kind of tuning in, OKC has now officially ended with the best record against an opposing conference at 28-1 as they took down Chicago 145 to 117. What a season, man. What a game. What an everything. I mean, there's not enough you can say about this team, honestly.
Yeah. Listen, I kind of did the preview earlier, and I was being nice enough for the Bulls, like giving them some type of respect, saying like, gotta defend their guards. They've been going pretty crazy. Gotta start fast and end it early, and that's exactly what happened tonight. Kobe White had 7 points. Like, I wasn't expecting 7 points, but I wasn't expecting anything crazy. Giddey had 15, 8, and 10, but it was like really non-existent.
Yeah.
But 145 points by a team whose best player played 27 minutes and had 27 points and 12 assists. Listen, it's just we just got to grind these last few games out, and just get to the playoffs. I do want to bring up one player. Actually, I'm kind of going to swing this to Landon, but Isaiah Joe tonight.
Ever since that Knicks game, he's just been different from the three-point line. And if he can shoot like that in the playoffs, it's going to be hard to keep him off the court. Threes are the highest quantity of points you can score. And if he just stacks those threes consistently, especially early in the game like tonight, we can get out to leads. And it will make winning playoff games so much easier if he can stay hot like this.
Yeah, I mean, when you add like an absolute sniper of a shooter in Isaiah Joe when he's fully on and he's on the court, I don't really know how anybody
just him
can
tonight either.
No, I mean, it was everyone.
From three.
I do also want to bring up another name coming back from injury. J-Dub, pretty solid game tonight. Actually, I mean, very solid game tonight. I think he ended with like 23, a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists, high percentage of field goal. That was another thing I brought up. Not only are our guards great defensively, I thought that we could really attack the Chicago guards and the paint as well because Vucevic isn't much of a shot blocker. That's what they do. This team doesn't take nights off. You'll see a lot of teams kind of start super slow against poorer teams, but OKC's not one of them. They give the same amount of effort each night. Doesn't matter who they're playing. And that's why you see these big outbursts, these big murders of a score. And it's just been consistent all year.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to go on a little bit of a Shea tangent here because there was something specific that I really wanted to point out from this game. And before I even started off, I'm actually going to hit you guys with a pretty I don't think it's absurd at this point. I'm going to stand pretty strong on this. Shea is just the next MJ, the next Kobe, the next type of that player. He is. And tonight he proved it. And what proved it, he's been proving it. But what really did it for me tonight, that 9-minute span out of halftime where he did not shoot the ball. His entire purpose of being in that game was to get other players involved. The second he hit that number 10th assist, he came down and just cashed a three right in someone's face. Came down the next time, burnt by a guy to get a layup. There are only so many players in the history of basketball that you can talk about who gets exactly what they want when they want it, whether it's scoring, whether it's assists, whether it's steals, blocks. It's Shea Gilgeous is going to score is a fact at this point. You can't stop it. There's nothing you can do to stop him. Like when I talk about players like Kobe, this is the kind of thing it is. I mean, when I say he's the next Kobe, this is exactly what it is. And tonight he just showed. I mean, people want to call him talk about his scoring and his free throw shooting and everything. So for an entire 9-minute span, he does all he can to get everybody else the ball and ends up with 10 assists. Like that's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, something on that. You have to assume the Bulls' only hope of winning is stopping Shea. So you have to assume as part of their game plan coming in that they're probably going to throw a double. They did play a zone on defense. You have to assume that part of their plan was to double Shea, make his night difficult, And then Shea takes a page out of Chris Paul's book and becomes the ultimate playmaker and just starts dropping dimes and getting everybody on the roster
I think
up and down involved.
I think it was more so trying to prove a point tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
Because now all the guys, all these haters are trying to say, oh, well, he's a great scorer, but he doesn't do much else. Well, 12 assists in 27 minutes. I also like to give a huge shout out to Casey Wallace because he's been absolutely unbelievable on the defensive side of the ball. His offense is growing day by day. He had 8 assists tonight. Casey Wallace had 8 assists tonight. We have so many creators on this team now.
Yep.
Mind you, Aaron Wiggins is not playing.
I would consider AJ a creator too.
I would consider AJ
like
a creator. I consider Wiggins a creator just because he gets to the rim often, as much as he really wants to. So
yeah, talking about Kaysen, the thing that blows me away with Kaysen is there's nobody better at swatting at the ball and getting his hands involved. I mean, he just gets into every single play and at least affects it. I mean, the guy is an absolute menace when it comes to just lodging the ball out or knocking it out without getting any arm either. I mean, he's just, it's insane. He did all that tonight, all that aggressive defense, 3 steals, not a single personal foul. Not once.
I'd like to give a huge shout out to the Dallas Mavericks for making this happen. I mean, dude's unbelievable. What an asset to have for this Oklahoma City team.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, lively.
I wanted to get back to the Shea commentary and mention I think he's close to either tying or breaking the record for MJ's 20-plus point per game, I guess, record that he has. I believe he's up to like 68 in a row now with 20-plus in a game. And then on top of it, Shea's dad recently was on a podcast with Gil's Arena, and he mentioned who he, I guess, modeled his game after. It was AI, Kobe, and not much of MJ because Shea wasn't really around to see him, but his dad definitely influenced, obviously, mentioning MJ. And along with that, Shea's clearly been watching a lot of tape of those guys. He mentions Kobe's his favorite player, but I see a lot more shades of the AI in terms of, his off the court collabs and everything that he's doing right now. But even on the court, his dad mentioned in that post-game interview the interview itself, that he's not going to be a guy that's super selfish compared to like guys like Kobe and MJ. He's going to give up the ball, and we saw that tonight. It's just impressive that, I don't know, we're just lucky to have a guy like Shea on our team.
Yeah, he's a Canadian Kobe Bryant, and you mentioned that he's it's his favorite player, and I forgot where this clip was, but Shea likes to say that Kobe Bryant was Michael Jordan on steroids. So definitely loves Kobe. Definitely resembles Kobe a lot. I can get the AI more so off the court, but yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about tonight's win. It was expected. I'm happy we got out of there, pretty much healthy, and did what we had to do.
Wasn't that at a basketball camp that he said that about Kobe?
Yeah.
I remember that clip now.
The other thing with Shea's 12 assists, it's like it wasn't like he was just finding the hot hand and the guy was shooting. He was, I mean, the first one I think of is that ridiculous bounce pass to J-Dub for the and one. That pass was absurd. It could not have been a more perfect pass. Like, he wasn't just feeding the hot hand. He was making open shots for his teammates. Like, there's a difference between getting an assist and passing your teammate open. He was not just getting assists. He was getting people open. He was getting people off ball moving. Like, and at the same time, not once is he trying to shoot. Like, it was so clear that he had no, and it wasn't like he couldn't. He could have if he wanted to. He just chose not to. Like, that's insane. And the second he hit that 10 assist mark, he came down and just nailed a 3 immediately. And that was kind of the moment in the game where I just sat. He only had like 14 points at the time. And he comes down, he hits that 3, and I was just, like, you can't even say anything. You're just like stunned by the fact that it's so effortless. Like, the guy just does whatever he wants, and it's gonna work for him. Like, I cannot put it into words.
It's not just on the court. He's the ultimate team leader. He gets taken out early in this game, and then he goes to the bench, and Isaiah Joe shoots a corner 3 and gets his feet swept from underneath him, and he's pleading to the refs to call a technical foul and review the play.
Dude, I gotta love that guy.
It's just insane.
Another thing with him is, like, sorry, Gabe, but I was just
no,
gonna
yeah.
mention, like, you mentioned like there was a point where he only had like 14 points. I swear I blinked and he had 27. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
He does it. He does
no.
it nightly, but like
Yeah.
I just wanted to point that out. Like how easy he
Yeah.
gets these buckets. Like I swear I did not realize he got up to 27.
I was gonna say the same exact thing. Like as soon as he hit the assist mark, he was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
now I hit my 10 assists.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go get these buckets." Like
Yeah.
it's just
And
it's
then
so
I'm done.
apparent. Yeah, it's so apparent that like he knows like he's probably gonna sit by the third quarter in most of these games. He's like, let me just go ahead and drop 30 as quickly as I can so I can get out of here. And tonight,
Yeah.
obviously, he didn't care to come back when he got the 27. But it's just like he knows, like, hey, I'm gonna get it whenever I want. And
Yeah.
the other thing about the assist that I wanted to mention, I feel like, well, to start the season, he's only gone up in his assist trajectory. He started at like 5.4. The next month after that, I think it was like 5.8. Then he went up to the 6s, and now he's at 7.1 in March in terms of assists. So he's gradually grown. And on top of that, he's also leading the most points since All-Star break and most points in March as well. So it's like his points are increasing along with his assists. That's a crazy value in on his end. So
yeah. Well, as Thunder fans, I mean, we sit here and like we kind of talk about how we just keep mentioning the same thing after every win. But one thing that is like just consistently catching my eye is in the beginning half of the season, it was how incredible our defense was. And we had a couple offensive inconsistencies here and there. You know, Joe kind of started off a little bit cold, but found his footing, and we had the injuries and whatnot. But what I'm starting to see is like this Thunder team is they're clearly locking in. Like the closer we get to the playoffs, the better I feel like everything's working. And that's not super common. Like that's not easy to say because a lot of teams get so tired at the end of the season. But I mean, we just played a not great Bulls team. There's no reason we needed to perform like this, but we're going to because, as Joe said earlier, it doesn't matter who we play. We're gonna come out with the same intensity.
Well, that brings it back to maybe our first episode, maybe one of our first episodes. Definitely our first quote on Instagram. Great teams don't have trap games, bro. And I've been saying that the whole season long. And I mean, have I been wrong? Have I been wrong?
That quote has aged perfectly. I also got the stat up for Shea. So he's at 68 20-point games, and he's one game shy of tying Michael Jordan for third most consecutively in a season. I mean, ridiculous. And we still have some games left, so he can add to that lead. The Bulls came into this game winning 9 of 12 on a pretty hot streak, beating the Lakers. Shannon Sharp out here. Lakers in 5, this, that, and the other. I mean, come on, man. We're blowing these guys out by 30, 40 points.
Don't need to really. I don't even want to bring that up yet. We'll talk about that.
No, I'm rage baiting these Lakers fans. I don't care.
But what I like to do after every game we win, because we apparently win every single night at this point, is look forward the next upcoming games. Yep, here we go. We got a comment. We'll put that one up. You guys want to answer that real quick?
We're tied for the net rating with the greatest basketball team, or one of the greatest basketball teams to ever exist, the 95-96 Bulls. I mean, we should be able to beat this net rating with the games that we have upcoming. As long as Shea's playing the rest of this set of games, he may rest like the last 2 or something like that.
Yeah, Jazz Pelicans probably.
Yeah, most likely, but we'll still at least be close to beating this. Even if we're not, I don't think we've been concerned with the numbers. Like I know Mark isn't looking at any of this stuff. Like he's just focused on getting better game to game. So
this is
it'd
more
be cool if we do
fan appreciation type thing,
Yeah, even if we're second on this, like that's still super impressive. Like if Shea really wanted to, he could be averaging 40 at this point. So the numbers don't matter as much in terms of what we're looking at. The second comment by Texan was we beat the Bulls that beat the Lakers.
Now that's a rage
walk in the park.
Now that's a rage bait.
And that's exactly why I put it up here. So.
Anyway, I wanted to look forward to the next few games. We got a Wednesday night game on ESPN at home. I love being at home on ESPN because people don't get to see, well, I was going to say Chesapeake, but Paycom too often on national television. So I love it. Home against Pistons. And then Friday in Houston. Houston's been playing their asses off lately. They've been going crazy. I don't know what win streak they have. I think they've won like 12 of the last 13. They're gonna want that one in Houston for sure.
Mhm.
So that's 2 back-to-back games that are going to be dogfights. Those teams, Detroit definitely doesn't like OKC after what happened in Detroit. I can tell you that much. And then we know Houston doesn't like anyone really. So 2
I think
dogfights.
Detroit's going to be having a bunch of players suspended, by the way,
Yeah, they
for
will.
the game.
Yeah.
So we'll blow them out by the third, and it'll be
Yep.
similar to this game.
But then after those 2 dogfights, Lakers back-to-back at Paycom, baby. I am so stoked for those games. I'm hoping we get at least one fully healthy team, Lakers team and fully healthy OKC team to the best of our ability. And just to see what we're working with, I do think we're the best team in the league. I just like to, remind myself, because it's easy to lose track when you're beating these teams by 40. Like we haven't played anyone that great recently. So
Well, if we need a reminder, the Thunder are 28-1 against the East. We just broke the all-time record for the best record outside of the team's conference. We've swept every East team and split the Cavs games. I mean, that's ridiculous.
that first Cavs game was such a joke too. We saw what happened in the second game. That was
Yeah.
really OKC.
Yeah. One thing I did want to point out is obviously saying that we are the best team in the league is one thing, but it's also important to know that, like, obviously the best team in the league doesn't just mean that you're unbeatable. So it is important to, like, really just make sure that, especially with the Rockets and the back-to-back Lakers games, it's really important to see how we come out. I'm looking forward to those games, because just because we've been playing like the best team in the league does not mean that those are just free wins, So, I mean, I hope they are, and I think we definitely should win those 3 games, but I also thought we should have beat the Spurs, and we saw what happened when they didn't have Wemby. So it's kind of like, it's just, I like to try to stay grounded, and that's hard to do with this team. This team does not want you to keep your expectations grounded, because they certainly blow all of the expectations out of the water. So while I do try to keep it grounded by saying that we are the best team in the league, I'm really looking forward to these Lakers games. I want to see what we're going to bring. I agree with what you said, Joe. It'll be nice to see these games. I'm looking forward to that, and I really hope we get some healthy LA team.
It just keeps getting better and better. I just wanted to quickly pause here and just say that thank you to everyone who's viewing right now on X and YouTube. We do these lives after the game. We want to hear from you guys. So if you ever want to hop on and talk to us about the game that was just played on any given night, just shoot us a DM at Bring the Thunder Podcast on Instagram. We'll get you on here, and you can talk as much as you want.
Yeah. I also want to go back and mention we're on a 10-game win streak this season. We've had 2 10-game win streaks. Every season before that combined, we've only had 2. We're up to 63-12, 6 straight wins over the Bulls, and also we're 33-5 at home, which is an NBA best record.
Wow.
Also, we didn't.
Like there's a lot of. It seems like there's a lot of X amount of win straight against insert team this season.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to mention someone we haven't really spoken too much about was J-Dub. His offensive game has really picked up since he's been back, and he was kind of the X factor guy that I was looking at to pick up his game post All-Star, and he's essentially delivered on that. And as long as he's doing what he's doing right now into the playoffs, this should be very, very fun for us. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I guess we could look forward to the playoffs. I'm not overlooking any of these final games, but listen, first round is no joke. No matter who we play, I feel like I kind of wish it was the 2 seed Houston Rockets, but it's not going to be. We're in between right now. Sacramento is not going to be there. I'm just reading 10 seed. Dallas won't be there. The LA Clippers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Golden State Warriors. It could possibly end up being the Grizzlies, but we are, way ahead of the Grizzlies. We've shown that. But out of the Clippers, Timberwolves, and Warriors, I mean, we got a series on our hands in each one of those. I expect us to win each one, but this is no walk in the park.
I would say the Clippers are a walk in the park, in my opinion.
No. But one thing about all those teams is they have one player that can just take over on any given night.
That is true. I mean, I got to give respect to Harden and Kawhi. I will never say it's a walk in the park against 2 Hall of Famers, especially on the same team. And we should win those series, but it's not going to be as easy as I think. Well, I think you know what? I keep saying that, but every night it keeps getting better and better. So I don't know.
I think a Clippers series is like 4-1, maybe they take an
Maybe
extra game
two.
off of us,
Maybe two.
maybe two at max. The Golden State series would be probably the most interesting. They're playing the highest caliber between those three, with how Jimmy Butler's playing. I mean, and he can
I just
elevate
don't.
his game. So
They're good at the
I think-
top. They're good at the top, but I just don't love their depth.
no, their depth is elite, man.
Well, that's the
I
one thing about
disagree with you.
OKC.
They have the most depth between all three of those teams. I don't think the other two teams have the depth compared to the Golden State roster. And they also line up better with us from a small ball perspective. I think Timberwolves would be second on my list, but I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to try to rank them right now.
Mm.
I would just say, like, all those teams will be competitive. They have stars on their team.
It's the West.
The one thing I will say is, like, I'm really hoping to see, like, it's been true all season, but I hope it's still true in the playoffs. We have the best depth in the league. Our bench kills every single bench every night we play. That's the main reason, or one of the main reasons why we're where we are right now. So if that continues, it's going to be hard for teams like the Clippers, Golden State to, when they take two guys out to, stay in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's just obviously we like our matchups, but then at the end of the day, it is the West. I mean, nearly every team in the West is fighting to at least be a solid team. So at any given moment, you can't completely just say I want this team or I want this matchup, because sure, there's better ones for us, but there are certain teams that you just can't underestimate. I mean, talking about the Warriors especially, they're a team that I really think it's easy to underestimate them as a team. A lot of people just keep waving off how good they've been, but they're one of those teams that you just don't want to mess with. You don't want to mess with Curry's experience. You don't want to mess with Jimmy's playoffs. There's too many teams in the West that can prove something, and they're all looking to prove something, especially with everything we've heard about how everybody feels about OKC. So there's a lot of West teams that don't respect us, and that's gonna bring good series. That's gonna bring a lot of fire, a lot of heat to certain teams. So it's gonna be interesting to see when we get our matchup, if it's a team that that's been waiting to take us on or not, like the Lakers. Lakers definitely want us, so it'll be interesting to see. But I'm not counting anybody out, not yet.
I also think it's very likely we are going to be facing the Lakers in the second round from with the way the standings are looking. So Clippers first round, Lakers second round is how it's looking, and then we'll probably figure out who we'll see in the West Finals. But that seems like a really fun.
How sweet would it be if Clippers pulled a Clipper and we just got Sacramento in the first round, bro?
Oh yeah, I mean that's totally
no
awesome.
no shade to Sacramento, but
I'm thinking about Satvir's scenario. Imagine how good it feels for the small town OKC to knock out both LA. I mean, taking out the LA Giants. That would feel good.
Oh yeah, it'd be a kind of a full circle moment from all the shade LA has kind of thrown our way, and it'd be glorious for me, man. Between the Clippers fans in my DMs and the Lakers fans in my DMs, I've heard the craziest takes. So
I try to ignore them as much as I can.
From a marketing standpoint, it would kind of be an out with the old and in with the new sort of thing with those LA teams. It's a lot of players that are soon to retire. Kawhi,
we will
LeBron.
all die before the Lakers are out with the old. The Lakers will never be out with the old. They could have a record of 3-79, and they'd still be.
I'm
not saying teams. I'm saying players.
No,
LeBron, Kawhi, and Harden.
That seems to be like the whole playoff for OKC. Actually, with Curry and Draymond, like a lot of guys pushing their way out.
Let's retire.
The Warriors would be nice. Sending Draymond packing, that would be. That would be nice. Personally, I'd like to get the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. I think that would be a really enjoyable matchup. I'd love to play them. Then as well, if worst case scenario, if we end up losing, Russ gets to go to the finals. So but
exactly. It's a win.
That's the only scenario that's a win-win right there. Anyone else in the Western Conference Finals, got to kill them.
But I think the Nuggets is going to be the most interesting series and most challenging. I don't see any of the other teams honestly on our level any longer with the way we're playing, with the depth and the way we're playing healthy. Like tonight, when we're actually serious, this is what we're doing to teams. Like,
Yeah.
we've already been dismantling them by 15 plus point margins, but like 30 margins when we're fully healthy like this and shooting on full cylinder. And also, I want to bring this up before I forget. AJ Mitchell was seen in shoot around tonight or earlier today, kind of working on his ankle. So it looks like he's ramping up to come back here soon. His reevaluation date was supposed to be in a couple days, so we should be seeing him ramp up. Some reports saying, like he'll be re-entering the roster and everything. Obviously, we'll take our time with him, but hopefully he can get 3 or 4 games at the end of the season and get ramped up for that first round, because he's going to be huge.
Yeah,
like he was playing fantastic basketball, and I think a fully rested guy like that adds.
Yeah, for sure. Something else that I also was thinking about the other day when I was just kind of thinking ahead to the playoffs, that I really don't think. Okay, there's 2 things. One, I think Mark has a lot of hidden tactics, a lot of things that we're going to see come out in the playoffs that teams aren't ready for. And one of those that I think is going to happen, I think we're going to see Caruso get significant minutes. I think the leadership and just the all around experience, as well as the defense, I think we will see Caruso get some really significant minutes that we haven't seen him get. And I don't think teams are going to be ready for that. I mean, your guards are going to have to deal with SGA, Lou Dort, Cason Wallace, and Alex Caruso at all times. One of those 4 guys is going to be on the court. Like, that is disgusting. There has never been a team.
SGA, Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
And then once you get to the paint, you got 2 7-footers.
Exactly.
So
to respond,
it's a rough life, man.
Yeah, no, there's just no scoring.
To respond to your statement, yes, he's going to play a lot in the playoff. You can't go out and trade a young rising star 1-for-1 with a veteran player like that and then limit their minutes in the playoffs, especially when they have championship experience.
Absolutely.
Right. That's not, I don't mean like getting limited minutes. I mean the crucial minutes. I think we're going to see him playing big minutes that like are minutes that he maybe hasn't gotten this season. He's instead been more of a, well, we put him in to go with the flow kind of thing. I think we'll see him getting significant minutes. But the other really big thing that I wanted to point out is all these games where we've sat Shea because in the fourth quarter, because, we've been up by enough, that's not going to happen as much in the playoffs. There's not necessarily a safe lead that easy. So think about what's going to happen when Shea doesn't sit the fourth when he already has 30. Like, that's a whole – we haven't even seen fourth quarter Shea very much this season. So, like, that's a whole nother factor that teams have to think about, is the fact that we've been winning by 20 points with Shea on the bench. Playoffs, he's not going to the bench as much. Like, that is something you do not want. Like, I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, that's just an extra quarter of having to deal with trying to get the ball out of his hands, because you're not going to stop him from scoring. It's keeping him from getting the ball. And that's the whole game plan in and of itself. So it'll be interesting to see. This could end up being one of those playoff runs where Shea averages, or a player averages, that being Shea, like 35 points a game. I mean, really, like, it's going to be crazy to watch. We just got to.
I believe in a series he can get up to like 38 points per game.
Yeah.
I think as the playoffs goes, he'll ramp up. So like first round series, like he won't need to average as much. He'll probably be around like the 30-32 mark, get up to 34 the next series, 36. And by the finals, I think he'll be hitting full cylinder, and 38 to 40 is
the greatest thing is we're just like, yeah, by the finals, because we're already gonna be
well, it's also funny that like we start
that's just his trajectory. Like, he's gonna play more and more minutes as the playoffs go on. So
it's also funny that it's funny that we start with the floor he'll start with like 30 to 32. It's like, all right, I mean, like, no one else is averaging that. Like, he'll start there. But like, the other thing is, if this happens the way that we're talking about it, obviously not those exact numbers, but each series starts going up, that seriously will end. That would be one of the greatest single player runs in NBA playoffs history. Like, if he can do what he's capable of, this is going to be one of the greatest series.
His dad mentioned it. His family knows there's no such thing as dropping your points per game average in the regular season into the playoffs. So at bare minimum, he's going to be holding at 33. Yeah. Like, that's just kind of what he's been taught. And we've seen that from last year. We've already seen what he's capable of. And he's even grown past the player that he was in just a season ago, which is ridiculous. The
Just
growth.
crazy. At the end of the day, we just got to thank the
But yeah.
Clippers.
But yeah, let's wrap up. We could ramble for days, but we'll be back here Wednesday. Gabe, take it away.
Yeah, well, obviously, great win tonight, all around, really good. It ended with that 28-1 record against the East, setting the NBA record, just crazy. But yeah, Wednesday, April 2nd, we will be playing Detroit. As Savir mentioned earlier, they got about half their team suspended, not genuinely half, but enough where it'll affect it. So we'll see how that game goes out. But as always, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys let us know any feedback, any thoughts of your own in the comments below. And Joe, why don't you send us home?
Yeah, just a few other things. Like, guys, if you're new listeners, we're on Instagram at Bring the Thunder Podcast. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on X. We're on possibly Apple Podcasts. Who even knows? We're on everything. So if you like, what you're hearing and want to come for the ride, just hit a subscribe, hit a follow, and definitely for our post-game lives, hit us with a DM. We want to hear from you guys. This is more for you guys. We are a Thunder podcast. By fans, for fans, that's the whole thing. But other than that, I guess for new guys, I'll leave you with this. Thunder up, baby, let's go!
Let's go.